spread the word about micro school to everyone and let's educate everyone how awesome we are. All right, let's begin.
Dream time learning, where the fun begins. Learning with the twist, we help you spread your wings. Everyone is special, that's our golden rule. We celebrate you, cause you are unique and cool. From science to arts and all in between. At Dreamtime Learning, we make every scene a place for you to shine, where dreams come true. You are the star of the show, and we are cheering for you. So come along, join the fun. New ways of learning, like never before. Dreamtime learning, we are all a team. Learnings and adventures, and you are the dream.
Welcome back to another episode of our webinar series. This is brought to you by Dreamtime Learning School. Founded by Ms. Leena Asher, Dreamtime Learning Online School has been at the forefront as the leading conscious learning online school in Asia. At the core of it is our parent and student community, spanning 40 countries and 25 plus nationalities across multiple time zones. But before we begin, I want to take a moment to thank our learners Nandan, Khatija, Siddharth, Zayan, Aman, Anish, and Sanjog, all the way from the city of pearls, the city of biryani and brilliance, and the city of Nawabs and Nizams, Hyderabad, for putting in relentless background work to make this workshop exciting and informative. At Dreamtime, we believe in education that prepares learners for life, not just exams. On that note, let's begin. I request everyone's active participation throughout. Please use the comment box to put in all your queries, all your questions, and please be as interactive as our kids are all ready to tell you about Dreamtime Learning Hub. So let us now turn our focus to something truly revolutionary, the Dreamtime Learning Hub, a vibrant micro school based in Hyderabad. Nestled in the heart of Jubilee Hills, Dreamtime Learning Hub is India's first micro school, a learning space that's personalized, intimate, and designed around the needs and passions of each learner. With only 7 to 10 children per class, our hub offers a deeply engaging, hands on, and life connected approach to education. From cooking and gardening to music, drama, and beyond, our learners are encouraged to explore, question, create, and connect. It's a place where curiosity leads the way and learning is a joyful journey. We don't believe in one size fits all education. Instead, we nurture each learner's unique potential and equip them with the life skills, values, and emotional intelligence to thrive in an ever changing world. And now, who better to tell you more about micro schools than our very own learners from the Dreamtime Hub in Hyderabad? Over to you, Nandan.
Good morning, everyone. We are the learners of Dreamtime Learning Hub, India's first micro school positioned in Hyderabad. Welcome to our online session about a school model that is the need of the hour and being ready for the future, not the past. We are excited to have you with us. today. But before we dive in, type one word in the chat box which comes to your mind when you think of the word school.
All right, Nandan, let's wait for a few responses.
Yeah.
So, what comes to your mind when you hear the word school? Please type your responses and be as interactive in the chat box.
एक ही स्क्रीन से वो एक स्क्रीन से
Anyone? No word that. Okay, so someone says, okay, so we have a lot of responses coming in writing, academics, learning, reading. All right. Yes, Nandan, over to you.
Interesting words. Let's see if we could change those by the end of today.
Oh, we have one more
Will-
interesting word, Nandan. It's punctuality.
Oh, yeah. So, do you think schools today, these days, are preparing children for the future? Click on the given link or scan the QR code to respond.
So, Nandan, I'm putting the this link for them in the chat box. We'll give them a minute. Is that okay? To scan and
Yeah,
put
yeah.
in their responses? Okay. So please click on the link given in the chat box, or you can scan the QR code to put in your answers and respond to Nandan's question. All right, Nandan, let's continue.
That's exactly why we're here. Let's explore what's broken and how micro schools are fixing it. Over to you, Aman.
Type FACT in the chat if you're ready for some mind blowing truths. Okay, here's some mind blowing truths. 85% of the jobs in 2030 haven't even been invented yet. And most students will change careers at least 5 times. And yet classrooms still look like this. We're learners at Dreamtime Learning, and we're here to show you a better way. Microschooling. Picture this. A classroom from 100 years ago. Now compared to one from today. What's changed? Not much. Type YES. Yes, if you've ever felt school was more about memorizing than understanding.
So, Aman, just we got a response that conventional school is boring, and that's a fact. Do you agree to that?
If it's not a fact, it can be it could be debated on. For example, if you have a really good teacher and really good mood, really good classmates, and you're getting focus, it could be good. It's not exactly doesn't have to be a problem. But microschooling, make sure it happens every single time with a guarantee. You have very small classrooms. Your the entire almost the entire teachers focus on you, only divided among 3 or 4 other people.
That's a lovely response, Aman. Thank you so much for sharing your opinion on that. All right, let's proceed. So, we're getting a lot of yes in the chat box as well to your question. Very true. Miss Natasha says very true.
Yeah. Over to you, Zayan.
I felt stuck. I wanted to go ahead in the subjects I loved, but I couldn't. And when I struggled, there was no one on one time to help me catch up. Drop a light bulb emoji if you prefer real world learning. Drop a book emoji if you'd still go for textbooks. Put your answers in the chat box.
All right, let's see what people like. Do they like to go in for textbooks or are they ready for learning in a real world way? Okay, so Miss Cheryl puts an emoji that is the bulb. I think she's ready for real world learning and she prefers that over textbooks. Anyone else?
Here at Dreamtime Learning Hub, we do always real world learning. All right, more real world learning. Micro schools change everything from class sizes to how you learn. It's not just school. It's learning for life. Now let me ask you a question. I will flash 4 options. Please type your answers in the chat box. What would you want to learn at school? A. Podcasting. B. Carpentry. C. AI programming. Or D. All of the above.
Zayan, can you just repeat the question for them? Okay,
I
so
will
we
repeat
have,
it once more.
yeah, just repeat
What
that.
would
Yes.
you want to learn at school? A. Podcasting. B. Carpentry. C. AI programming. Or D. All of the above.
So most of our responses in the chat box
Yeah.
is option D, which is all of the
All right.
above. I think you kind of expected that
Yeah.
answer. Your reaction
Well,
said that. Yes.
here at Dreamtime Learning, we offer all of the above, from podcasting to our radio jockey, from carpentry to our DIY lesson, from AI programming to our technology capacity, which teaches us coding with in any way how you like semi-based block coding, text coding, or block coding, which are all fundamental to learn. We offer all of the above at here Dreamtime Learning Hub.
Thank you, Zayan. I think
Over
that
to
was a
you,
good sneak
Khadija.
peek into what is done in the school. Thank you so much. Yes, Zayan. That.
Over to you, Khadija.
In a traditional school, we might just read about sound waves, but here we record real podcasts and understand how audio works. I'm in grade 5, but I can study grade 6 mathematics if I don't feel challenged. I don't have to wait just because of my age. Doesn't that sound interesting? If I needed help in English, I can join grade 2 reading sessions, and I never have to feel embarrassed for needing support. Type yes if you ever wish you could learn at your own pace. Here's a quick situation. You type what you'd prefer to do. Over to you, Sanjog.
So we just wait for a second to see the responses we get before we move on to the scenario game. So yes, Miss Supriya does say yes. Thank you, Prithvi. So anyone else would like to answer Khatija's question? Okay, so yes, we're getting a lot of them who are responding yes in the chat box, Khatija. All right, let's move ahead to the scenario game.
Hello everyone. Today I will be giving you a scenario. Let's say you love science, but you struggle with grammar. So today I will giving you three choices. Ready? A. Go ahead in science. B. Get stuck and wait. And C. Get private help in grammar.
Okay, let's wait for a second to get some responses. So we get one response. Okay, a lot of them are saying C again. I've got two responses and both say get private help in grammar. So Dreamtime Learning, Miss Lena says A, go ahead in science. Miss Natasha says C, which is get private help in grammar. Let's wait a minute for some more responses. Sanjog, before you tell them what we do at Hyderabad, right? Okay, so your options are A, B, and C. Go ahead in science, stay stuck and wait, or get private help in grammar. Anyone else? So, okay, so Shri also says C, get private help in grammar. Sanjog, why don't you tell them what happens? What is a wonderful thing that happens at the hub?
Micro schools let you choose A plus C. You move ahead where you shine and get support where you need it. Over to you, Siddharth.
AI isn't replacing teachers, it's making learning smarter and faster. Can you guess how AI helps us learn better? Type one way in the chat.
We're waiting for our responses. We're not going to tell you directly what we do at the hub. I think we want you to tell us first what are your expectations of AI making your life easier and smarter. So let's wait and see what responses we get in the chat box. Okay, so we get a query here. Can you please tell in detail? Siddharth, can you explain your question again, please?
Okay. So AI isn't replacing teachers, it's making learning smarter and faster. Can you guess how AI helps us learn better? Type one way in the chat.
Okay, thank you, Siddharth. Anyone would like to add on, tell somebody what, tell Shri what AI is and give an example of an AI tool? Any one of you can respond. Yes, Zaya.
AI is standing for artificial intelligence. It's basically like us humans, but it has knowledge. Knowledge. And as in the name artificial intelligence, we put information in it and it remembers the information.
So
And
have
for
you used
example,
any AI tool? Yes. Have you used any AI tool to share with them?
yes, for example, Copilot or ChatGPT, those are AI tools.
Okay, so lovely. So yes, Shri says ChatGPT is one of the AI tool that we are using. That's right. There's Suno
Yes.
AI, absolutely. Thank you so much, Zayan, for sharing that and briefing them about what artificial intelligence is all about. So now that you have understood what AI is, and please respond to Siddharth's question in the chat box. You can type any one way that AI makes your learning smarter or AI is helping you. Anyone else? So helps with assessments. So that's the response we get, Siddharth. It helps with assessments. Nandan, you want to share something?
Um, no, thank you.
Okay, all right. I saw you speaking, so I thought maybe you want to. Helps with personalized tutoring. We're getting some really interesting responses here. Okay, anyone else? Miss Lavanya, Miss Natasha, Miss Hiral. What is your take on AI? Miss Farhana, Miss Mena. All right, we move ahead, no problem. Okay, analyzing large amounts of data quickly. Okay, that's an interesting one. So, would you like to share with them how AI helps us in micro schools?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the next slide and show them.
This is what we feel about AI. Number one, it tracks weaknesses. Number two, help suggest personalized assignments. And number three, gives instant feedback. AI helps us learn how to think, not just what to remember. Over to you, Nandan.
I used to think learning was boring, but now I love it because I can see where it applies in the real world. We have hands on learning experiences for our core subjects, topics learned through absorb, interact, and create, where we are encouraged to create through the knowledge gained, which deepens our understanding. Over to you, Zayan.
Public speaking scared me. Now here I am speaking to all of you. I've learned confidence and communication. We learned the nuance of public speaking during our choice based learning sessions. Just not learning. We implemented it by comparing it for our annual day. Wow, the monologues, which were greatly appreciated, and not to forget the skits, which have stood in our memories. Over to you, Sanjok.
Now here's a rapid fire chat challenge. I'll name a school subject. You reply with a real world way to learn it. So let me give you one example. To study mathematics, one can build a tree house. Ready? So here's the first subject, English.
Okay, so you can unmute or you can put your response in the chat. The choice is yours. How do you think we can study English in the real world way learning? Any ideas to share? So he gave you an example of building a tree house. That's how you learn mathematics. It's not the conventional way. He's trying to show you the difference between the conventional way. Okay, so podcasting. Miss Lina said podcasting, Sanjok.
That's some really great.
Okay, anyone else? How can we learn English in the real world way? Miss Joy, would you like to share your any idea that comes to your mind? Talking to friends. Okay, communicating. Let's wait for a few more, Sanjog, before we. Okay, we have debate as well. 。  . 。  . 。 . . . . . . . 。 . . . . . . . 。 . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . 。 . . . . . 。 . . . 。 . . . 。 . 。 . 。 . . By communicating with peers and reading books, theater. Sanju, could you like to comment on those responses?
Those are some really lovely ideas I see there.
Okay, let's move ahead with the next subject.
Now,
What's the
is
next subject?
everyone ready for second subject? Science.
So, how can we learn science in the real world way? Anyone? Hand-on experimenting and experiencing, okay, experiments. Sanjay, why don't we show them? Okay, observing nature. That's a lovely, lovely idea.
That's
It's
what-
literally going out there and learning. Thank you so much for sharing that. Cooking. So Miss Farhana says cooking. Games. Okay. Okay, Sanjok, let's show them how we do it in the Dreamtime way.
Great job, everyone. Those are some lovely ideas. Ready to see how we do in math, English, and science? Over to you, Aman.
In English, learners enhance their language skills through activities like blog writing and debates, allowing them to practice articulation and persuasive communication in real world contexts. In science, learners engage in project based learning, such as creating models of sustainable cities to understand environmental issues and the interconnectedness of life forms. In mathematics, learners apply math concepts by constructing real objects like furniture, games, or tools, making numbers meaningful through hands-on creation. Over to you, Siddharth.
Now it's your turn. Type your questions in the chat, and we are here to answer from a learner's point of view.
Okay, so parents, you're open to ask questions about what microschooling is or any doubts you've had so far, and our learners are all ready to answer all your doubts and solve all your queries. Please ask them anything that has crossed your mind about microschooling that you have not understood so far or you need more clarity on. They are here to tell you. You can unmute, you need not put it in the chat box. You can unmute and ask them as well. Anyone with any questions? Okay, so I'll begin. Okay, I'll start. So this is something that crossed my mind this morning. Actually, I wanted to ask one of you. We didn't practice this. So I was always brought up in a traditional school. Okay, if my school had to change, okay, from the traditional conventional way to a micro school, what changes would you make as an educator? Any of you can answer that. How do you think the gap? Okay, we have a question, but let's come back to it after you answer mine. So, what is the main difference between what my school would be back then, like a traditional conventional school, versus what you guys are doing right now? Anyone? Yes, Zayan.
Well, traditional schools focus on memorizing information instead of understanding it and implementing it. Here at Dreamtime Learning Hub, which is a micro school, since there are less students in each class, the teacher will focus on each student more often. And here at Dreamtime Learning Hub, we also learn not just by memorizing, we also learn by understanding, implementing, analyzing, and many other more ways. And
Okay.
also at
Yes, sorry,
here
Zayan. Yeah.
At here, Dreamtime Learning Hub, we don't just learn math, science, English, or global perspective. We learn many more topics that can be used in real life. For example, cooking. We learn to cook without egg. We even learn how to cook without a microwave or any type of heat,
Oh, wow, lovely.
or radio jockeying, which is used for communication and feeling confident about yourself.
Wow, thank you so much, Zayan. I think that answers my question. The main thing I saw what you said was a lot of hands-on learning, which and yes, memorizing, as you rightly said. Today, if you ask me to teach math in a fun way, in a real world way, I wouldn't be able to. I would still say a 2 multiplied by 2 is 4. So thank you so much for sharing that. So we have a few questions in the chat box. So one is, how does your school blend academic subjects with real world hands-on learning? So maybe you can share a few examples that you have experienced in class.
Can you please repeat the question?
Yes. How does your school blend academic subjects with real world hands-on learning?
Well, here at Dreamtime Learning Hub, we blend it. All right. For example, in mathematics, what could be used for mathematics? What could be used? Like we could measure the angles. We could like woodworks. In DIY, it requires woodworks, right? Right. So we use our math skills that we learned in class to implement it onto our DIY.
Oh,
And
lovely. So that makes a lot of sense also of why you're studying a particular subject, right, in school.
one more thing. In cooking,
Yes.
we need measurements, right? In mathematics, we learn about measurements and conversions of the measurement, like cups, tablespoons, teaspoons, or quarter teaspoons.
Okay. Thank you, Zayan, for sharing that. Anyone wants to, you want to say something else or you would add
Well,
something to that?
well,
Yeah.
while in English, we write works of literature, like we write stories, we write anything we want. And we can write something based on a prompt or any idea given by the teacher.
Okay. Thank you so much, Zayan. Does anyone want to add on to what he says or should we proceed to the next question? Aman, Sanjog, Siddharth, Khatija, anyone wants to add anything? Nandan? Or should we go to the next question?
Let's go to the next question.
Next question. Okay. So again, we get a question from Shri, which is, what is your approach to teaching science and technology in everyday life? So I think, so to simplify that for you, how do we teach science and technology that corresponds with, so you use it for your everyday life, not just as subjects that are taught in school? Yes, Aya. Please feel free to answer.
So in technology, we learn how to use technology if we don't know how to use. Like for example, we learn how to use AI in a sustainable and learning manner. And in science, and we learn about real life things like interesting things. For example, uh, like we learned about the reproductive system in grade 7 or in like grade 5. You can also learn about like climate change and how we can fight for it, and how we can fight for climate change and how to protest and everything.
You also mentioned about project-based learning earlier, right? So
Yes.
maybe project-based learning is a way also. Can you just explain what that means?
Yes. So project-based learning is when you learn by doing a project. So the science teacher assigns you a project which you have to research on and then make a good project out of it. It and yeah, that is project-based learning.
Okay. Anyone wants to add on to what he said? And you also get a clap from Shri. So good job, everyone. Okay. So should we proceed to the next question?
Sure.
Or anyone wants to add on to what Zayan said? Okay, let's move on. How do you incorporate projects, experiments, or outdoor learning into your curriculum? Come on, can we have someone else respond, Nandan? How do you incorporate projects, experiments? Can you share about some experiment that is done? It need not be science, could be anything, or any outdoor learning into your curriculum.
Field trips? Can we talk
So,
about field trips?
Yeah, why don't you share about field trips? Have you been anywhere? What have you learned there?
yeah,
How was it conducted?
we have been to a lot of field trips. A really educational one was to a science park. Um, Over there were so many cool things. Defying gravity. There was a needle check. It was so fun, and you learned a lot of things from it,
Okay, thank you,
like
Nandan.
how it works,
Yeah,
what's the
all right,
physics or science behind it.
lovely. Thank you. Aman, do you want to add something to what he said? Anything about projects, experiments, or outdoor learning in your curriculum?
Yeah, so for example, in math, we incorporate projects in our math. So for example, our math teacher could assign us to make furniture, make a model of furniture, or design a game. in English, we were in GP actually, we were asked to write a research paper to learn more about the research paper part of the subject. So we use project-based learning all the time, and it's really incorporated, and it's a way better way of learning than just of learning off textbooks.
Lovely. Thank you so much, all of you, for sharing that. So, any more questions, or can we proceed? Okay, so thank you so much, parents, for your questions. I hope they have solved all your doubts. Let's move to the next part of the presentation.
Has today changed the way you see education? Do you believe more parents deserve to know about micro schools? Your task as a parent, record a 1-minute video or Instagram reel sharing why you believe micro schools matter after attending this session. In your video, include 2 key takeaways or facts you learned today, one personal insight or aha moment that shifted your thinking, a call to action. Why should other parents consider micro schools for their children? Post your video on Instagram and tag at the rate Dreamtime Learning Hub. Let's make this movement grow because every child deserves future ready education, even those whose parents couldn't attend today. Let your voice be the reason someone reimagines learning.
You're on mute, Khatija.
Over to you, Zayan.
We are glad that the hub is growing. From just one branch in Hyderabad, we have entered Pune. Honored to introduce Miss Sapna, someone who believes in future ready learning just like us. Miss Sapna is helping bringing microschooling into Pune, and we couldn't be more excited. Over to you, Siddharth.
If you or someone you know lives in Pune, this is big. Dreamtime Learning Hub is coming to your city with smaller class sizes, personalized learning, real world projects, and AI powered tools. Type PUNE, Pune, in the chat if you want us to connect you with our Pune team, or type HYD, Hyderabad, if you are from Hyderabad. Over to you, Nandan.
We started today with a question. Are schools preparing us for the future? Now you've seen what's possible when we reimagine learning. Micro schools aren't just the future, they're already here and they are built for you. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Let's make education exciting, relevant, and real. Education should move with the world, not stay stuck at the past. Let's all unmute for 5 seconds and cheer
Nandan,
together.
I'm very sorry to interrupt. Nandan, I'm very sorry to interrupt you. We have a question which we need to address.
Okay.
Okay, so we have someone ask us, which books do you use, NCRT or any private publication on your own? So we create our own resources. Okay, we keep in mind the boards, all the prescribed boards, such as CBSE and NCERT, Pearson, Cambridge, all of it, and we create our own learning resources as well. Okay, does that answer your question, Miss Nidhi? I'm sorry to have missed that. Okay, so for further question, yes, thank you, Ms. Nidhi. So the assessment structure, so if you would like to get more details about, how our school functions, please, we will note down your number. If you could put it in the chat and we will get back to you. We will have somebody call you up and take you through the process. Is that okay? So, yeah, is that okay, Ms. Nidhi? If you could, yes, thank you so much. I will note down your number and I will share it across with our team and they will get in touch with you and answer all your queries. Thank you so much. Yes, Nandan, please continue.
Let's all unmute for 5 seconds and cheer together. Ready? Ready? 3, 2, 1. Yay!
Yay!
Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope they were able to give you a glimpse of what micro schools are all about and how different they are from the traditional conventional schools that we have been brought up in. Miss Nidhi, I've noted down your number. I will get in touch with you soon. And thank you, everyone else. Have a great weekend.
Thank you to all our learners. Well done.
Thank you, Miss Lena.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tina.